Do you want to up your game when playing in a published module by Wizards of the Coast? This video will help you get on that level of attentiveness that Wizards of the Coast expect you to have as a player. Because everyone is a scholar of literature, right? Before we go any further, I just want to note that this video does not contain spoilers for any modules, and it certainly does not instruct you to read any of the modules to learn all of its secrets. That would be super lame, and I would encourage anyone who does read a module with the intention of metagaming to not spoil the game for others like you've done for yourself. Okay, where do we start? Modules in 5th edition D&D are very well thought out. Wizards of the Coast have an entire team working on these campaigns, from editors to artists, longtime D&D fans and writers, and they even use complex mathematical equations for game balance apparently. These modules come with a level of thought and polish that you simply won't find when you write your own campaign. Let's face it, no one has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours to design their campaign. If you do, well, that's good for you. The collective minds of the Wizards RPG team really does come up with some amazing content. Take a look at Curse of Strahd and Tomb of Annihilation, and then Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. These campaigns are very well written and contain a lot of details, not just for the players, but also for DMs. There are paragraphs about an NPC's backstory that your players will probably never even hear of, but it will breathe life into the characters for your DM, and that will come out when role-playing them. With this level of detail, the Wizards RPG team have also adapted a certain style in which they expect players to adhere to by default. Of course, I would encourage every DM to alter the module however they see fit to best suit their group and their own campaign, and the Wizards RPG team always does encourage DMs to own the module themselves and make the world their own. After all, everyone just wants to have fun and feel satisfied after every session. So here's the first tip. Listen to the descriptions. Most modules in 5th edition contain paragraph quotes that contain a description of a room that you're about to enter. The description of these rooms should give you enough information to visualize the room theater of the mind style without even needing to look at the map, and the key is in the detail. A common theme is that these descriptions also may contain hints towards a secret or treasure or clue for figuring out a puzzle. As a very basic example, a description could read, "The floor of this 30-foot square room is covered in a thick layer of fog. A faded, moth-eaten tapestry hangs on a glass-sheathed wall. The roof is covered with thick cobwebs." Let's break this down. Firstly, we have a 30-foot square room. Okay, nothing strange about that really. That is an awfully high ceiling, I guess. The floor is also covered in a thick layer of fog. I can't see the floor. I could look for traps, but no matter how high I roll on my perception check, I won't be able to see any glyphs of warding or pit traps because the fog is obscuring the floor. Maybe I could clear up the fog with a cantrip or two and then search. This is a fairly common thing in these modules. Wizards RPG team encourage creative thinkers and almost require that the players pay attention to these small details to avoid these kinds of traps. Okay, the next detail is a faded tapestry. Well, that's not really a worry. It is faded though. Perhaps if I take a close look, I could see if it has any symbols on it that could be a clue for how to get out of this dungeon. It looks moth-eaten. Sure, there could be moths, but what else could put holes in material like that? Acid? Maybe an ooze. I better take a look around first before getting close. The walls are also covered in glass. That is bizarre. Why would someone do that? Acid doesn't corrode glass. This has got to be an acid hazard. I'm going to drink my acid resistance potion. Next, the roof is covered in cobwebs. That means spiders. Can't see the roof though. How thick are those webs exactly? I know, the wizard can firebolt the webs and burn them away. Now, I'm not saying what happens next is that a giant acid-spitting spider jumps out and starts spraying the party, but it would definitely seem that way. Detail is in the description. Always listen for detail when your DM reads out these descriptions, and please don't interrupt them because others are trying to listen carefully too. Second tip, Things are expensive. Ever listen to a description of a room and think, meh, it's just some furniture. No one wants furniture. If I wanted furniture, I could go to the damn carpenters down the road. I am Bronard, the skull-crushing barbarian from the Devil's Tundra. Me smash! Well, stop right there, Bronard. While furniture is boring, take a minute to think about why these furnishings are being described to you. Why would a fancy noble want some rugs hung on his wall? Those tapestries could easily be worth 100 gold pieces. That silverware, another 100 gold pieces. And what about that rug? That sure is fancy too. Roll that up and add another 250 gold pieces to your bank account. You could literally buy 100 skulls to crush from your local necromancer and still have change to buy a new loincloth, Bronard. Common theme in these modules is that silverware, tapestries, and even rugs are usually very valuable. If you're a treasure hoarder, take a moment to ask your DM if your character thinks that these items could be worth anything. You would be surprised about how much loot gets simply trampled over while adventuring. The third tip, doors aren't trapped. Alright, picture this. Your rogue is stealthing ahead. He seems to turn invisible in front of you, even though he's literally in an empty, well-lit room. He's spotting traps, and then he's disabling them. Well, I'm afraid those days are kind of over. This is a common carryover from earlier editions, and some players can't seem to let this go. Sure, there are trapdoors in 5th edition modules, but they're never just haha got you kind of traps. Fall through that pit trap? Well, there was a 10-foot square gap with no dust on that section of floor, hinting to the pit trap. Scythe blades cut your arms off? I mean, you did see a severed arm next to that door. All the doors slam shut and the room starts filling with acid. That 500 gold piece ruby sitting on the altar in the middle of the room didn't scream trap to you? I mean, come on. One thing I've noticed consistently in 5th edition modules is the fact that they've done away with trapping every second door in a dungeon. And I can see why. Do you really want 20% of the dialogue from your D&D session to be, I checked the door for traps. Roll a perception check. You don't find a trap. I open the door. Or do you want it to be, I burst through the door, I cast gust of wind to blow away the fog that obscures the floor, I tumble over the concealed pit trap that I spotted, I drink my acid resistance potion, I firebolt the webs on the ceiling, disintegrating the acid-eating spider, and steal the sacred 5,000 GP moth-eaten tapestry that was stolen from Bronard's tribe by the evil alchemist. In these modules, there will also be some kind of sign that points to a trap. And usually that's in the room's description. You won't find random traps that just explode in your face with no possible warning signs, so you can relax. You can open that door without a worry. Oh, and another thing about traps, there are also multiple ways to avoid them. Most of the time, it's as simple as just being out of the way of them. You don't always have to rely on your saving throws to save you from a trap. Just try plugging the holes of that poison gas trap with some candle wax. Put a shield up in front of that giant ballista that's pointed at your face before you open that door. Okay guys, that's my 3 tips for players who are playing in published Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition modules. I hope you found this video useful, and drop a comment below if you have any questions about anything D&D related. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this kind of video, and if you want to see more. I'll be putting out another video for players next week. I'm Seb, and I'll see you soon.